the offer accepted, and I remember vividly when I got the offer accepted, we were on the private jet
I remember that. Yeah.
to go see Patrick Bet-David and John Maxwell, and I got the call, and my realtor said, your offer got accepted, and I'm like, what the fuck? You have to close in 14 days. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I haven't told anyone.
Hey guys, welcome back to Driven Channel, and I'm here with somebody very special. Like Patty, you know, we go a long way, and I remember you like a baby when you started with us, and how you started. You were doing good, but you took it to a whole different level. So now, we'll talk about it later in this podcast. But we had podcast number 1. This is going to be podcast number 2. You're a very different Patty in a better way. More successful. You have bought a couple of multi-million-dollar homes, and a lot of new things in Patty's life. So before we start, and from the beginning, I want to let people know that are watching this, maybe they're meeting Patty for the first time. Who is Patty? We know Patty is the mortgage girl. We know Patty is a very smart, successful lady. But who is Patty for those that don't know Patty? Like, where did you come from? Where did you grow up? Why did you get into the mortgage industry? And if you could just share a little bit of an intro of who Patty is. And before you do that, thank you for being back.
Thank you for having me.
To me and Sil. We love you.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Who is Patty?
Yeah, so I'm Patty Marin, and I'm the mortgage girl here at the Mortgage Guys, co-owner. And how did I start? Where did I start? When did I start? So I got into the mortgage industry in 2008. It was during a recession, and I actually got in it by accident. I was looking for a job, and I applied as a receptionist for a mortgage company, and I got the job on the spot. And my English was like really good, but my Spanish was like really broken. And it was mainly like a Hispanic community in the city of Huntington Park. And I learned how to speak Spanish because I was answering phones all day, and I was still in high school. So I was in high school, and after high school, I was driving to the job, and it was from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. So I love the environment. I love that loan officers were helping people and making a lot of money during that time. So when I turned 18, my broker said, get your real estate license, and then you can work and become a loan officer. So I did. Right when I turned 18, I got my license, but I also got pregnant at the same time. And I said, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna work, or can I still work? And I had no other option. Like, I started working as a loan officer. I had no knowledge, no experience. I had no clients. I had a lot of drive, and I knew that I had to make it happen because I had a baby on the way, and I had no support from no one. So I started doing open houses by myself in the hood. My broker just said, you need to do open houses to get clients. So I did. I was in the hood doing open houses in Compton, South Central, Watts, every day, and that's how I started generating clients little by little. I was also passing out flyers at El Super, like doing swap meet events, passing out my business cards. There was no social media back then, so I just try to reach as many people as I can, and that's how I started. And this is when the houses were super cheap. They were like, I remember doing loans in Compton for $100,000. Like, if I had you as my mentor at that time, I would have bought like so many properties, but I didn't have anyone to guide me. I just had the work ethic, and I knew that I had to close transactions. So I hustled, but I was never put in the right environment. I always had the drive in me, and I knew that I can become a better person. So I left that company, and I went to go work for another company that was a family member. But I stayed stuck every year. I wasn't growing. So I was closing, but I was comfortable. I was living average, I would say.
So before we get into all the other stuff,
Yeah.
why do you feel you were comfortable? And you mentioned environment. Like, how important was that?
There was no competition. Everyone was living under, I would say they had no goals. They didn't have, or they weren't living the lifestyle that I wanted. I always knew I wanted to live the lavish, fancy lifestyle. And I saw that here with Albert when I saw Live with You with Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
4 years ago,
Yeah.
you had the Mexican
Oh, that
sombrero.
was more than 4 years ago.
And
But
I
yeah,
said,
it
who
was a
is
while
this
ago.
guy? Like, he drives a Ferrari and he lives in West Hollywood. And I know I can be there. And I know I want that life for me. Like, I've always liked the finest things in life, even now. Like, I eat at the best places. We drink the best champagne. We fly private. I have a private driver. Like, everything in life, like, I always knew I wanted the best.
So Patty, quick question, look, because
Yeah.
I know you at a personal level, very personal.
Yeah.
I know, like, for example, Christina, she knows you really well. She's right here in this room. Sale knows you very well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that don't know you very well because you're not that you're not like that accessible to anyone in the form of you don't want to be everybody's friend.
Approachable.
Like you I think you're very selective with the people you want to have around. And sometimes people that don't know you really well, they'll see you and they'll be scared of you, or they'll think, oh, you know what, Patty's mean, or she's stuck up, or she thinks she's all that, or because you like the good things in life.
Right.
But we all have different personalities. I like the good things in life, and people think the same about me.
Yeah.
But if you know me very well too, so you know that I'm a
Yes.
very humble, nice guy. I have good manners. I treat everybody with respect. I love bus boys. I love the waiters.
Yeah.
I love the janitors. Like, I don't think I'm better than anyone. But some people think that, oh, you know what? This guy's a dick. This guy's
Right.
whatever. And
Yeah.
and I think in the female version, they also think, oh, she thinks she's all that. She thinks she's. But in reality, you are like the nicest person. I've never heard you talk bad about anyone. I've never heard you complain about anything. Have you made mistakes? Have things happened to you? Absolutely, just like everybody else. But I think people that don't really know you, I hope they really knew you, because you are you're like the sweetest girl, one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. And I think because I believe that good things happen to good people. And I know you've been through a lot in your life. And now that you're very successful, people just see that. And sometimes they see like, oh, well, she thinks she's all that because she's making all that money. She's closing all those deals. But people don't see the real you. What message would you have to say before we get into the mortgage stuff?
Yeah.
What message would you want to give out, if you care to give out a message,
Yeah.
to people that maybe are watching this and they don't really know who Patty really is? They just know what they see on social media.
Yeah, I would say I get a lot of mean comments. I have a lot of haters, and I never hate on anyone. I give everyone the same energy that they give me, and I'm very protective with my space and with my circle. That's why I don't have a lot of friends, because I don't trust a lot of people. A lot of people have done me dirty, so I don't trust a lot of people, but I always have or give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And because right now I'm like so successful, everyone's so judgmental. A lot of people are very judgmental. Everything that I have, I worked my ass off. Nothing was given to me. I didn't have anything handed to me on a silver platter. Like, I literally work my ass off for everything that I have. And I feel like people see that and they just automatically hate. I am, deep down, I am a quiet person and I'm really shy. And people, they take that as like, she's stuck up. She's such a fucking bitch. But like, deep down, if you come and talk to me, like, I'm nice. Like, I'm cool as a cucumber. And like, I want to get to know more people. But a lot of people think that I'm not approachable. But I really am. And I'm good.
So
I don't bite, I promise. And I wish I wish people would be less hate and just get to know me a little more.
Yeah, no, because you're truly also like you're one of my favorite people to hang out with. You know how sometimes there's people that let me put it this way. There's people that you need to give time to
Yeah.
because they earn it and because they're good people.
Yeah.
However, there's those people that you really like to hang out with. Like those people that you know, oh, that's going to be fun. I want to have beers with this person. In your case, I want to have champagne with this person. But there's those people that you enjoy hanging around with. Like you're that cool person that like I like to hang around with. And I think a lot of people that know you well,
Yeah.
they like to hang around you. But some people like they earned your time and you have to hang out with them, but you don't really enjoy it as much as you do with other people. So you're a really fun, super fun person. Now, jumping into your career as a mortgage girl,
Yeah.
you've bought there's this story that I want to share with people because people don't see your business side, but you're
Right.
very intelligent in business. Like you've gone through a lot of things, and you are a mother of two, and divorced. So you're single, right? You're like you're a single woman.
Yeah.
So people don't realize that you have two $1 million home. One of them is I think multiple millions, and you always wanted to get a house in the hills. Mm-hmm. So you were always like, I want to get a house in Hollywood Hills. It was your dream house, and then you finally got your house. But you being a mother, you could probably say it better than me. But
Yeah.
you being a mother, your son was like, I don't want to move to Hollywood Hills. Like I all my friends are local, are in Downey. So then you were thinking like, you know what? Even though you had invested, remodeled the whole place, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just buy another $1 million home in Downey. And so now you have these two homes, and people don't realize that all of this, you did it by yourself. Like nobody gave you money for it or nobody helped you with it, right?
Right.
So like what is it? How does it feel, first of all, to do that? And how hard was it to do it on your own, or was it hard dealing with being a mother of two, going through a divorce, being at the top for the last 2 years, and also having these two properties? I don't even know what your plans are right now, but you have a lot of options right now. Like you have a
Yeah.
lot of options, and
Yeah.
if the advice that I give you is like, hey, you know what? Right now, you control everything. So you got to be very selective with people you let in your life. You got to be very selective with your time, because right now you control it. A lot of people are going to want to take advantage of you. You call the shots right now. So be very, very smart. Don't make the same mistakes I've made. Learn from them. And so what are your plans? And before that, how does it make you feel, like all of this that you've accomplished so far?
Yeah, so I have a lot of moving parts in my personal life and my business life and with my whole business. A lot of people don't know, but in the beginning of this year, a lot of things happened. I bought a house. My dream was to move out here in the hills and have a property with a view. I wanted to wake up and just see the city, and that was my dream. So last year was the biggest year in my whole entire career, and I worked my ass off last year. I was pregnant, and I would work 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, and I saved up a lot of money last year. It was during COVID, rates were really low, and business was booming. So in the beginning of this year, I told my son, like, I actually bought the house of my dreams in LA, here in the hills, not too far from this office. And I have my son, he's 14, and now I have my baby, that's 1, and I love them both. I do anything and everything for them. And I wanted to surprise my boys, and I bought the house without showing it to them, without telling them. I just said, guess what? I have a surprise. And this house, I went to war. Like, I went above like the asking price. It has a lot of potential, and I was looking for something that was a fixer-upper I can build it to my custom liking. I can remodel the whole thing, and we can live there happily ever after. Wake up and the view's there, the city's here, the office is here. Like, what a dream life. And I'm already driving my dream car. Like, life is good. So I put an offer, and I had to compete with multiple buyers, cash buyers, and I went above, and it was a bidding war, but this is when the market was super hot, and I got the offer accepted. And I remember vividly when I got the offer accepted, we were on the private jet
I remember that. Yeah.
to go see Patrick David and John Maxwell. And I got the call, and my realtor said, your offer got accepted. And I'm like, what the fuck? You have to close in 14 days. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I haven't told anyone. I want to go see the house again. And it was crazy because it happened so fast, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't expecting to buy a house like right away. But when you put a lot of action into it, you're going to see results. So I ended up getting the house, and I ended up closing. So I told my son, like, hey, we're going to go see the house that we just bought. Like, I just bought. And I wanted to surprise him. I wanted to surprise my whole family. I took my family when I got the keys, and everyone said, wow, the view is priceless. The view is the $2.5 million view. You have the view of downtown LA. You have the view of Hollywood. You've been there. You've seen the house.
It took you a Dom Perignon.
Yeah. So my 14-year-old said, Mom, I'm not moving with you. I don't want to move to that city. And I said, oh, fuck, like, I can't move without him. I'm not going to move by myself in that house. So I said, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll rent this house out, the LA one, and I can put tenants in there for 3-4 months. Once he's out of high school, we can all move here. He's gonna want this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I'm rehabbing it, but the next month I bought another house in Downey because that's where my son goes to school. And that's where he wanted to stay because his friends were there. So that house is also multi-million-dollar property, and it's my temporary house.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Like, who does that? Like, who does two huge expenses like that back to back? Like, I wasn't expecting that for myself, but I take big risks.
Yeah. Now, when you took your son there and he said, I'm not moving here, did you try to use your people skills and sales skills convincing him to?
I did. I said the girls here are so much prettier than Downey. Like,
I would say so. No offense.
I told him, okay, so where do you want to take a girl home? Do you want to take them to Downey house? To Downey, a house in Downey, or LA? Like, that's a no-brainer. He said, Mom, when I'm 18, we'll go to LA house.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying a Downey house.
Is he convinced to like is he convinced like by 17, 18 he'll change his mind?
Yeah. He's also like me. He's also very driven. He's an entrepreneur like me. I taught him at a young age. He actually has his own business. I took him to open a bank account 2 months ago. He flips shoes and sneakers. He's a sneakerhead, and he flips sneakers. He sells with sneakers. I'm teaching him all the business perspective, how to be an entrepreneur, how to grow and invest your money. And he likes the finer things in life like me. So I'm teaching him, like, he likes Beverly Hills Hotel. He likes the pancakes from there. He likes berries. Like, all that is...
You should take him to Hotel Bel Air.
Yeah, I'm going to take him. Like, all that is on this side of town. It's not in Downey. Like, Downey doesn't have...
Yeah.
nice restaurants like out here. So he's very, very much like me. So I'm teaching him, and more as he grows older. He's already 14, so he's like a little adult. I talk to him like a little small adult. So I just try to mentor him and just show him and prepare him, like, when he's 18, like, you're gonna invest in real estate, make sure you have your credit right. And I monitor his expenses and his bank account and just try to, like, show him and prepare him. School does not teach him a lot of things, and sometimes there's times where I have to go and talk to his teachers, and, like, I feel like I have to go to war with the district because there's a lot of stuff that we disagree, and I had to, like, change his schedule and do a lot of stuff. But I feel like they're not gonna learn a lot in school until they're in the real world, and and if they have someone like me, like I'm gonna teach them like how to run a business, how to open an LLC, how to apply for credit, stuff that school does not teach you. So I feel like he's learning a lot, and more he's like more understanding because he's growing older and now he's getting it. So I feel like in 2-3 years he's gonna be willing and he's gonna be open to move to this side of town, and he'll be driving, and life is gonna get better.
Yeah, and you'll be closer to the office.
Yes.
Now, you're number one right now, and you were number one last month. So how does
Yeah.
it feel to be number one, and be a woman? Like, I'm not comparing women to men, but you are a woman and you're number one, and I find that I think that's very inspirational for not only women but for everyone. But you also have things going on, and you don't let those affect you. Like you have, like, you're buying multi-million dollar homes. You're number one. You're a woman. You're a mom. You have 2 kids, a young adult, and you went through a divorce, but you're still winning big. Like, how does it make you feel? First of all, like being like number one in the company, and then second, just having all these things that are going on, but at the same time they don't affect you.
Yeah, so my personal life, I never bring it into my business life. If I'm having a baby and if I'm in labor, last year when I was in labor, 24-hour labor here in Cedars-Sinai, I was still working. Like, whatever happens in my personal life, I do not let it contradict my business life. Like, that's my number one rule. And like, something about me, like, I make no excuses. I get the job done. And I feel like that's been me since the beginning. I've always had the work ethic, like no excuses. Like, there's been times where I had to take my kids to work because I have appointments and I have no babysitter. Like, I do whatever it takes, and I've always gone the extra mile, which is what a lot of people don't do. I remember when I was pregnant, you told me it's gonna get harder. Like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna have a baby. Like, oh shit, what happens after this? Like, I haven't had a baby in so long. I have to restart and start all over and wake up at night. And there's been times where, like, work has been so crazy where I don't have time to eat, I don't have time to shower. But like, that doesn't matter because I put my work first. Like, if I'm not like working, I feel weird. Like, even when I'm on vacation, I'm still working. Like, there's a meme of Kim K where she's like on vacation. I think she's like under a tunnel and she's on her phone, and like when it says like when you're loan officers, you have to take a call.
Yeah.
That's literally me. My sisters were there, like in Tulum. We were under a tunnel and I had to respond to an email, and they're like, you can't use your phone. Like, what are you doing? Why are you on your phone? And I'm like, oh no, I have to respond to this email. Like, work comes first to me. I always put work, because with work, then I can take care of my loved ones. And that's why I'm so dedicated. I work literally 7 days a week. A lot of people don't. And I get calls from realtors and they tell me like, hey, my lender's not working today. They're not answering today, but you did. So you're going to get the deal. And I'm always willing to do open houses, whatever it takes. And I think that's what got me to number one. I always want to grow and get better. And now I have a team. I have an assistant. My sister helps me. And I was struggling this year with balance, with being a mom, with work. I recently hired a nanny. That relieved like a huge, huge weight off my shoulder, because now the nanny takes care of the baby and I'm able to work and take care of everything that I need to take care of. And that's how I'm able to just keep growing and getting better.
Now, Patty, one thing that I see about you is that you're very, very nice, and sometimes people can take advantage of that. Has anybody ever told you that?
I'm very, very nice until I'm not, and then at the point where I'm not, it's like, you're out of my life. I cut you off. Bye. Wish you the best, because I don't need you.
Patty, so let's talk about like how you grew up. So like when you grew up, I know you mentioned a little bit, but when you grew up, when you were a little girl, did you was there something that kind of changed your life in that made you that tough girl that you are? Because you're, you know,
I'm a little
you're a
girl, but
little
I'm
girl,
big.
you're not the tallest girl,
Yeah,
like the biggest girl. You're petite, and
very.
but you are very very you're like that lion. Like people when people make you mad, like I've seen that side of you. So like so you have that toughness. Was there something like growing up when you were a little girl that made you that tough? Where you kind of, it's almost like you have something to prove, and you have that drive that nobody's gonna mess with you. Like or maybe there wasn't that, or an event that happened, but you seem like somebody that kind of like me. Like I went through, like when I was a little kid,
Hmm.
I went through a lot of difficult times, and people humiliated me a lot,
Yeah.
and that made me like, I'm gonna show them that I'm gonna be bigger and badder than these fucking people. But did something that make you that strong? Because you have a really strong mindset. Like
Yeah.
I've heard you get horrible news, and you're a lot like me in a woman version, that nothing seems to phase you. Like, you know that, okay, horrible news, but I'm strong. You know, I'm gonna fight back. You have that fighter in you. Like, what was it? Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe you just became that person. But was there something or not?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest girl of five siblings. So it's my brother, he's the oldest. And then it's me, and I have three younger sisters, which we're really close. Like wherever I go, they come. Like it's always like a group. Like, oh, there's a TikTok. It's funny because it's like, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, and the TikTok's like, "Yeah, but," and then they add like the other parties. So like when I was little, my dad, he was the one that always pressured, like, hey, like you need to set a good example for your sisters. You're the lead for your sisters. So I always had that pressure that I needed to succeed, and he always implanted in me, my dad, that I needed to be independent no matter like what I did. I needed to be independent and never depend on anyone. And I grew up just knowing that. Like my dad he's a very hard worker until this day. That's where I get the work ethic. He worked every single day.
I was gonna ask you about that, your work ethic, but you're
I get it from my dad, and he always applied that pressure and said, you need to succeed and never depend on no one. And you need to be a good role model to your sisters. And I guess at a young age, if you hear that from your parents, it's like you don't want to fail them, especially since you're the oldest. It's like you have no other option but to do that. I grew up in Compton, and I didn't go to school in Compton because my mom always said, like, I don't want you to go to school in Compton. So we went to school in Gardena, and she lied about the address. A lot of people do that.
yeah.
So I'm originally from Compton. Then we moved to Bellflower and then to Downey.
How long did you live in Compton?
I lived in Compton till I was like 7, 8. Yeah, so my whole like pretty much elementary.
Was it the bad area of Compton, or the
It was on McKinley. It was considered the average. The average. It was okay. I mean,
did you ever get in like
we
any
never
fights
saw
or
like
anything?
gunshots or anything crazy. The whole block, it was like a bunch of kids, and we would go out and play. And I mean, it was a nice household. We had like all our tias live there and all our tios,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a traditional Mexican household. My dad is a truck driver, so like all the trucks are parked outside.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't see that in like Downey. But yeah, that's how I grew up, and then from there we moved to Bellflower. And I always saw my dad working. My mom always took care of the house. Like she raised us, she cooked and cleaned for us, and I always had that pressure to be a good role model to your sisters. So that's what I did. And right when I got pregnant, my dad, it was a huge disappointment to my dad, but it was a blessing in disguise.
Because you were 18, right? When you
I was 18. It was a blessing in disguise because that forced me to work to get it done.
So when you were 18, were your I mean, you didn't have much money, right? You?
I was broke. I had
And
zero money.
and then your parents weren't like, they also didn't have that much money, or did they?
No, well, because I got pregnant, they said, like, you're on your own, you need to figure it out. So I was living off of my credit cards, and my credit cards were maxed out. So luckily I closed one deal, and that's how I was able to survive for a couple of months.
So see, this is a very powerful lesson, because people that want to hate on beautiful women that are hardworking and they make a lot of money, and they don't realize that, hey, you know what? They're making a lot of money because they're working hard. They're buying these multi-million-dollar properties because they work hard. They don't see that all of that is self-earned. They don't see, like, wait, when she was 18 years old and she didn't have the resources, she didn't have the relationships, she was on her own. Like, she built it and she suffered and she made it happen. So people don't see that. How important do you think it is to go through that to make it big, as opposed to when you're given things?
I feel like that's crucial, especially since I literally started from the bottom, and then it's all about levels. So I started from the bottom, and then every year I started growing and growing and growing, and I never gave up. There's been times where, like, I could have, like, just said, there's no money, I have no clients, like, I'm just gonna work a 9 to 5 and just get paid, like, hourly. But I knew, like, I had the fire in me, and I said, like, I'm gonna go all in, and I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. Everyone was telling me, you're crazy, you're 18, you're pregnant, and it's a recession in '08. Everyone's losing their jobs, everyone's unemployed. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? But I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else. So I said, I'm just gonna take the chance, and
Yeah.
and I did it, and I fought through it, and now I'm here.
I think it's very powerful because you went through that recession. That's when you started. So you knew how hard it was. And then when
Yeah.
times got better, you stacked money. And
Yeah.
then that enabled you to buy properties, invest, make good decisions. And then, so now let's talk about you. Like, so I know you said you're single. So are you looking for a relationship right now, or are you staying? Do you want to be focused on work? If, like, for people that are watching this, maybe there's a few people that are watching this and they follow you and they want to know more about Patty. Are you available right now, or are you taking, like, some time off right now to focus on work?
So depends who's asking. I'm just kidding. So I'm, like, such a busy person. Like, when I'm not working, my free time I dedicate it to my kids. Like, when I come home, the 2-3 hours that I do have, like, I spend it with them, and I really don't have time to date. I think within time I'm gonna be more open to that.
Yeah.
It has to be someone that's on my level.
Yeah.
Tim Grover gave me really good advice
Oh, yeah.
on
Yeah, I
this
remember.
at Driven, and he just said, make sure it's someone on your level, because you know what you bring to the table, and I know my worth too. So
Yeah. Plus, you got somebody that always that cares about you, like me and Sil. You got
Yeah.
a couple people, like, we like to give you advice, mentor you, and I love for the fact that you're very coachable. Now, Patty, to wrap up here before we talk a little bit about mortgages. I'm sure people that are watching this, especially mothers, they might be asking, like, wait, how does she do it with like an adult? He's an adult. He's 14, right?
yeah,
So
pretty much an adult.
he's a young
yeah.
adult, and then you have a
baby.
newborn, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're still, number one, you're still working hard. You're still making everything happen. So is there something you do to balance work and personal life, or do you just make it happen, or what is your formula to win both as a mother in your personal life and also in business as a businesswoman?
Yeah, so every day I strive to be the best that I can. I'm all in on everything that I do. I never half-ass anything. If I'm gonna work, I'm gonna work 100% and go all in. and every day I strive to be the best mom that I can for my kids. So what does it take to be the best mom for your kids? You need to work to provide the best lifestyle for your kids. So that's what pushes me. My two boys, they motivate me and they keep me on my toes. And they know mom has to work, and if they want this lifestyle, they want to live here, they want this, they know that's what it's going to take for mom to go to work. And there's not a balance. It's kind of like all over the place. When I come home, when I go to work, I'm at work and I'm all in and I'm focused. I'm not distracted. When I come home, I dedicate it to my kids. But when my kids are asleep, I go back to work. A lot of people don't see that.
Yeah.
They don't realize it. I'm pre-qualifying. I'm sending emails. A lot of people think that's not right because it's not work hours. But that's me, and that's what works for me.
So you're very efficient with your time. You value your time.
Very much so. I also work weekends when my kids are asleep before they wake up. I'm up before them. I'm an early person, as weird as it sounds, because I love to sleep in. But I'm willing to sacrifice my sleep for success and for work and to get a head start before the boys wake up. I'm done with work, and we can go have brunch.
Awesome, Patty. So to wrap up here,
yes,
mortgage. So we talked a lot about you being number one. All your accomplishments. Like, what makes you different from all the other loan officers out there, in the way of, like, maybe for realtors that are looking to work with a quality lender? Because there's a lot of loan officers that are not that good. Obviously, you're one of the best, if not the best. And so if a realtor wants to work with you, or maybe there's a borrower watching this, a homeowner that wants to refinance because they need some cash right now because they are running low on funds, because maybe their industry is hurt and they want to cash out some money. Why should they use you as opposed to another loan officer out there? What makes you special and different?
You know what? That's a really good question, and I get that question asked a lot. A lot of clients are very shy. They're intimidated. They think I'm not gonna help them. They think I'm too busy. But deep down, I put my clients first. If my clients are not ready, I give them a roadmap. If my clients need help with credit, I help them fix their credit. I go above and beyond. I've gone to clients' houses I do appointments. I used to do appointments. Whatever it took, I used to do it. I did all the dirty work. I literally went above and beyond, and I still do. And that's why my business is based off recommendations and referrals 90%, because clients, when you show them results, they're happy and they're going to recommend you, their friends, their family, their neighbors, everybody that they know. And that's how I stay on top, number one.
Yeah.
Because I care for my clients if they're my family members, and I just want the best for them. I'm always looking out for their best interests, even if I make less money, even if it doesn't make sense for them. I let them know, and I'm transparent and I'm honest, and I make myself available. Now I have a team. Now I have more help. Before I didn't. Before I wanted to do everything on my own because I wanted to control everything. I would say no, I want to do the paperwork and the application and everything. You told me, you gave me a really good advice, and you said, if you want to scale, you need an assistant. And I said, no, I want to do everything.
Yeah.
And until not too long ago, it's only been 3 years that I got my assistant.
Yeah.
And I was closing, when I joined here, I was only closing 2-3 a month. And I got my assistant and my business tripled because I delegated a lot to my assistant, but I'm still involved in the transaction. I still do all the paperwork and the communication, and I'm there for my clients. So that's the most important thing.
And you're also not you're not shy to put in to do the dirty work if you have to. I've seen you you'll go with realtors and do open houses. You'll go visit clients. You'll just do whatever it takes. And I feel some people, sometimes their ego, they're oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm too good for that. And then what happens is they run out of money and now they're forced to do it. Yeah. But you have that work ethic in you. That's for sure. Now, I think this would be a good one to for people watching this. especially for women, because I'm curious about this and I want to learn from you a little bit right here. When you I'm sure you get a lot of DMs and people call you and they try to like say, oh, I want to get business. I want to, I have business for you. I want to work with you. And then they're like, oh, you know what? I really want to take Patty out on a date. Or maybe also like when you're going out to clients' homes and you're a lady, you're going by yourself, or I don't know if you do it differently, but like, do you ever think like, wait, whose house am I going into? Or when people DM you, hey, I'm a realtor, I want to work with you, or a client, hey, you know what, I want to refinance, I want to do this. Like, how do you know, and how do you protect yourself from like, hey, what if these people are just trying to hit on me? Because I know there's a lot of good-looking ladies out there that are watching this, and not necessarily good-looking, like just ladies in general. Like sometimes, like, how do you deal with it? Because I have two daughters, three
Right.
now, three,
Yeah.
three, a third one coming in the way. So like when they get older, and I know they're gonna be good-looking.
Yeah.
Now, if they get into business and then they're out there in business, I know how bad I was. So like maybe God it's his way of giving back to me where, okay, now you're going to have to deal with, maybe I have a fourth girl, I don't know. But now I'm going to be a dad that's going to be like, hey, Italia, Berlin, wait, one's 19, one's 16, whatever, later in life, and they're going out. I know how bad guys can be.
Yeah.
So like I need advice from you, because what do I tell them, or what advice would you give them? Because you're obviously doing it very right, because you know how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with all the incoming traffic and decide, I'm going to take this one, I'm not going to take this? How do you process that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So one thing about me on my personal life, I have really high standards for myself, and I like to ask a lot of questions up front in the phone. So I'm able to determine if it's a real client or like a guy that's trying to like take me out on a date and just waste my time. So what I do is, if I have like any doubts, I just say, you know what, send me your documents. If they don't send me their docs, then I tell them, okay, come to the office. And I know if they're going to come to the office, they're serious, but I'm going to have someone there. Like, I'm always so paranoid. I just watched the documentary. What is it called? Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm always so paranoid and I don't trust people. But like, you're able to feel it. Like, you're able to determine or like notice if it's like someone that's serious or not. So normally when you have their documents, their socials, their ID, where they work, who they are, you're able to see, okay, he's a real client, like he's real. And I always ask, like, okay, so who's going on the loan? Like, I do my due diligence. I look them up on like if they have social media. I check their Instagram and I say, okay, who else is going on the loan? You and your wife. And that's how I'm able to tell. For the most part, most of my clients have been really good, and it's mainly like families that I help. I never had like any creep, only because I don't put myself in that situation where if a client says, let's meet at a bar or a restaurant, I said, I always keep it professional. Like I lure it back to like, no, this is like professional. You need to fill out the application. Now it's a lot easier than back then. Back then was mainly in person, but like now you can like complete an application online and send your documents online. So I always have my guard up. Even if I'm at an open house, I make sure that I'm not alone. Like, I have the realtor there to make sure that like everything's good, and I'm always like alert.
Awesome, Patty. So to close up right here, if realtors are watching this and maybe they're looking to work with a new lender, and I know you're very busy. I know you're very selective with the realtors you work with just because of how good you are. Are you still looking to create new relationships with realtors? And if you are, like, where can realtors reach out to you, and how can they find you?
Yeah, so The most easiest way is through Instagram, through DM. I do get a lot of realtors that DM me that want to go to lunch. And I'm open. I'm open to work with new realtors.
They just got to be serious.
They just have to be serious and about business. And I'm open to work with new realtors. I'm growing my team, so I have a lot of help, and I'm working on my systems. I have really good systems now, and we like provide updates, and most importantly, we provide results. I let my numbers speak for myself. So like if you're a realtor and you want to work with a loan officer that has the experience, that has the expertise, that knows how to structure loans and communicate with not only with realtors but also the clients that are gonna come back and refer us more clients, that I'm open and I'm looking for that relationship. Yes.
Awesome. So, Patty, tell us a story that nobody has ever heard about you. Like something you never shared. Could be something funny or something like.
Yeah. So crazy thing is that like before all this happened, before I got pregnant, like when I was in high school, when I was 16, I actually wanted to be a lawyer.
I could see you as a lawyer.
I wanted to fight and like
I would hire you as a lawyer.
people. I wanted to be a lawyer, or I wanted to be.
Because nobody, you know why? Because nobody can read your look. You're kind of like me, where you never.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's so weird. Because people tell me you have a poker face, but like I have a poker face. Like I'm so happy inside. Like I don't see it from the outside. Like when I got my car, my G-Wagon, like the sales guy, he said, "Why aren't you happy?" I said, "What do you mean? I'm so happy. I just bought my dream car." He gave me the keys, and a lot of people tell me like you have a poker face. I held the secret to your baby. Your baby girl that you're having. Yeah. Nobody knew, and a lot of people try to get it out of me, and I gave no hints, no clues. Like I didn't flinch. So I wanted to be a lawyer so bad, but I hated school. I did not want to go to college. Like I did not like high school. I did not like college. Like I knew school was not for me, so I did not want to put in the work for school. So then I said, I want to be an interior designer just because I love decor. I love to like decor places and furniture and homes. So I almost was not here. I almost could have been a lawyer or an interior designer.
Patty the lawyer.
Yeah.
So from a lawyer to a multimillionaire.
Loan officer, co-owner of the mortgage, guys.
That's right. So Patty, we had an incredible time here. I think a lot of people are gonna get so much value from this. And I know you said your Instagram to DM you. Is there anywhere else that you want people to reach out to you, just in case somebody's watching this and they want to cash out, refinance? Maybe they need help with anything from, maybe they want to sell their house. I know you work with a lot of realtors, and that you could refer them to business. And or if a realtor wants to work with you, do you have an email? Do you have a phone number? Or do you prefer them to reach out to you on your Instagram?
Yeah, so I do. I have my phone number is the easiest way to access me. If you text or if you call me, my number is 562-746-4566. That's my direct number. Only reach out if you're serious. And then my email is patty@themortgageguys.com.
Awesome. Patty, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.